So I have seen Captain America Brave New World in theaters, the 35th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the 4th Captain America movie, this time with Sam Wilson donning the shield. Here's my review. It's no secret that Marvel has been in a bit of a slump recently, and they really need a win. It's also no secret that this movie was plagued with issues, going under extensive reshoots and changes. So is this a win for the MCU? In my opinion, no. Is this the worst of the MCU? Also no. What it is, though, is the worst Captain America movie in the MCU, and that's because it barely feels like a Captain America movie. If anything, this feels like a light sequel to 2008's The Incredible Hulk and 2021's Eternals that just so happens to throw Captain America into the mix. Now, that's not to say there aren't things I liked about this movie, because there are some. For one, even though the material he's been given so far has been subpar and he deserves better, I still like Anthony Mackie in the role of Cap. I think he's a natural successor to Steve Rogers. Also, anything having to do with Isaiah Bradley in this movie is when the movie is at its most compelling. Carl Lumbly easily gives the best and most emotional performance out of everyone in the cast. It's just unfortunate how little the movie utilizes him after the beginning. And although it does ultimately suffer from the typically ugly visual aesthetic of the MCU, there are still some pretty cool shots dispersed throughout this movie. But despite the few aspects I appreciated, they aren't enough to save this movie from the lame mess it is. The convolutedly executed story, script, direction, and editing so badly want this to be a tense political thriller that brings an air of seriousness back to the MCU. But to me, it only came across as awkward, weightless, and boring. On top of that, most of the action sequences I found stale. The partnership between Sam Wilson and the new Falcon, Joaquin Torres, is undercooked. Decent performances are outweighed by mediocre performances. There are characters involved that really serve no purpose here, and there's a major character that should be here but is barely even mentioned. The little humor the movie does have is cringy. You can really feel all of those reshoots, especially when it comes to some truly horrendous CGI and use of green screen, as well as the weak realization and optimization of the villains. And as far as the Red Hulk goes, I thought his inclusion was incredibly anticlimactic and underwhelming. Overall, I think there could have been a good Captain America movie in here somewhere, but it's drowned out by poor decisions and the misguided attempt to connect this to other MCU properties while fumbling to give us an actually interesting Captain America movie. I give Captain America Brave New World a 2 out of 5.